This is Chris Gotti, Lorenzo, and you're now watching Giving Them the Business. My partner right next to me, the Cable King, Don Dinero.
Don Dinero, Cable La.
You know what I'm saying? And this week, what we want to talk about is building brands and how to build brands. Again,
I think not only how to build a brand, but
what it takes.
everything around you that we're exposed to is someone's brand. I mean, when you think about how hard people work
Yeah, I'm wearing a brand right now.
to either buy a pair of Gucci
FieldRich. You know what
shoes
I'm saying?
or
Shout out FieldRich.
a Versace shirt or
A Cuban connection.
a Cuban connection hood. I think I think about brands and how brands are developed and the amount of money and time it takes from a marketing aspect to expose your brand. And we have so many, when we discuss independent artists, when it comes to music, there's so many independent designers or brands out there trying to expose, and even us, with whether it's giving them the
no
business,
question.
adventure music, Cuban connection, whatever we do, your brother with Tales and Visionary Ideas, Murder Inc., legendary brand.
Facts.
What is it? DMX, legendary brand
Rough
with the
Riders.
Rough Riders. Jay with Rock Nation or Rockefeller Records at the beginning. So I think brands affect us all some way, somehow, and I think people
Bellair
have
Rose, the boss. Wingstop.
Wingstop.
I mean?
I think we have a bottle there of the what's that champagne or whatever he promotes.
Which one? Oh, the Bellair.
Bellair.
Yeah.
Puffy with
Yeah, Ciroc.
Ciroc.
What's that pink cup, bro?
This is Sweetie. Coming soon, Sweetie.
I gotta get where you at.
I'm right here. I'm with you, my brother. I'm with you. But yeah, I think brands or building a brand is a billion-dollar industry. When you think about Ford, when you think about Tesla, these are all brands.
All brands.
Someone creates a name.
Let's get into from the brand, from the essence, from the beginning. Where did it start? Where's the concept, the thought, the idea? It takes the vision of where it could go. Kanye West, we always talk about him. That's my boy. Like Kanye with the Yeezys and what he's done with that. All of these are brands, and in the building of it and what it takes to actually have success in it and how to actually move forward, moving that brand into this culture to get what you really want from it.
I think it starts with capitalism. I think it starts with this is a country that it's one of the few countries that you can actually become a millionaire without having a college education, let's say. And it's usually through building a brand.
I don't have a college education.
And you built an incredible brand with your brother, right? Which was Murder Inc.
It took a lot of years.
And before Murder Inc., you had a brand with your
construction
company.
Yeah, above all, construction.
So I think one of the bases here is that people, this country was really kind of created or developed to help the intellectual property owner, right? The guy who owns the actual brand or the name of the brand can actually make, move, and shake, right? So when you look at these brands that were created, whether it was Ford, Chevy, the list goes on. I mean, there were originators, came up with great ideas, and then expanded on that brand. So in this country, when you want to create a brand, the first thing you have to do is create like an LLC. You have to create a company.
Yeah.
So most brands are what? Companies.
Yes.
Right?
It's business. You start a company, protect yourself, some tax breaks, some things you might be able to do, and start building. You have to think about, again, executing. It's one thing to think about, it's another thing to execute. So we could talk about it all day, is how does someone go and get started?
It's an idea.
We want to get to, from the idea to the finished product to the sale of the product of whatever they're selling. Like I said, you said everything's a brand. You're talking about these huge companies, but I want to really help and talk to the smallest companies. Again, like giving them the business, Cuban connection.
I mean, what we do at Adventure Music is a small company. I'll give you an example. Your first brand is what as an artist? Your name.
What's funny when you bring up artists is when we was doing it say 20, 30 years ago, artists wasn't thought of as a brand. Today, that is their business.
Yes.
Today, everyone is
Their
it's a
IG,
brand.
their
This is my
Facebook,
brand.
their
Yes,
TikTok is their brand.
it's their brand, and they're building their brand and their likeness of that brand for the world to see.
To see
Yeah,
what that brand
and
can
like it.
deliver.
Hopefully, like it, enjoy it, and go. But getting started, like you said, starting an LLC, it could be a C-Corp, S-Corp. It's all right. It's a incorporation. You know, it's all based on what you're going to do with your own business and
No,
how
but to
you're going to run it.
contrast that, I was saying that an artist doesn't necessarily have to start an LLC from the door to open to create his name, and that will be his brand at the beginning. Then eventually, if he wants to
You
get
know,
his business right, yes, he would have to start
the
a brand.
beauty of a brand, also starting a brand, is to get to become successful. It's so many different ways to do that.
Yes.
You know, from marketing, the way you market it, or the way you get an influencer to wear it. You know, Fubu started that way. Um, Beats by Dre. You know, JimmyIvine said he just went crazy getting every celebrity he could to have that headphone, to hold it, put it on. Next thing you know, it's in all their pictures. It just organically started going everywhere, and that's what he did at an incredible rate and built that business all the way up, the headphone business.
But didn't he do it that way because I think he did not know, like his marketing plan was, look, let's get it to all these guys
Yeah.
who are cool, who are, influencers in their
the
own way.
culture.
They were actually influencers before we even used the word influencer.
Yeah. And that's what he did. And he did it and executed it and became extremely successful in this space in selling headphones, headphone little other little gadgets inside of the headphone space, because that's what ends up happening. You create one thing and then you start creating a line of other things that kind of coincide with the main product, which was his headphone.
Yeah, because it's a way to extract more from the consumer and that end. So that's a brand, which was Beat, that took off, and it was heavily influenced by, I think, the hip hop. Because
Absolutely.
everyone thought it was Dr. Dre's, which it was, but
It
he
is
was
Dre's.
yeah, but what I mean is,
JimmyIvine was
nobody really knew who Jimmy
Okay, so
Iovine
let's go
was.
back
The average
building-
consumer doesn't know who Jimmy.
building a brand. He knew that this brand in particular, this headphone, needed a face attached to it, a
give
name
it credibility.
attached to it for credibility purposes, to make people say, man, if Dre is doing it, I'll do it. He's like, if he did it, and this icon of a producer that would know sonically what things sound like, if he
No,
knows
it
what it
gave it
sounds like, I
instant
want to get it.
credibility. The word on the street was, yo, Dre's coming out with a headphone.
Yeah.
Like everything, everybody wanted that.
You know, we could go back to Puffy with Sean John, you know, with all of those things and what it took for him to build it. But even Fubu, when I was talking about Fubu, Damon John and those guys there, they got LL Cool J to wear it and put it on, and it became a very cool thing, and it just started spreading. But he got all the influences at that time, the cool kid at that time, in that moment, prior to internet, putting it on, and that's how they spread the popularity of that brand. Very important for you guys that's building brands to understand there's a lot of ways to do it. Maybe if you're a chef, you need the right person saying they love your food and co-signing it from there. You know, it's so many different ways to approach building of a brand, and then keeping the integrity of the brand you build, which to me is number one.
Why people make it and some people fail.
You know, you could expect a certain level of quality from a Mercedes Benz.
Yes.
You don't buy a Mercedes Benz and get Hyundai quality.
No.
So that's
And
what I
Hyundai
mean.
stepping it up at
The
him.
integrity of that brand. They're looked at, and again, there's other car companies. I'm just using them as one, but there's other companies that's the key. But that's brand building. That is what you have to do. So when you start something, and all these artists, they start a clothing line. Okay, it's cool to start it, but what's the integrity? What does it stand for? What does it represent? So that people, when they buy it, what kind of quality are we getting and we're going to receive for in exchange?
I mean, I think a lot of artists at that moment, they've been hot. They've just been approached by people to license their stuff, and they don't really get too involved. I mean, that's why Kanye, I think, has been successful, because I think the whole Yeezy sneak and everything was his baby. He kept the intellectual property. He learned kind of from what the music business kind of put him in a hole a little bit. And obviously probably the help with Kim in the fashion world, who knows. But I think that brand building, there are particular brands that are interesting to me, that these brands, if I told you, hey, Chris, we're going to create a brand, but our customer base has no money,
Yeah.
you're like, how the fuck do we sell anything to them? Well, guess what? I'm gonna tell you one of the biggest brands in the world, and majority of the customer base don't have $1. You ready? Walt Disney.
The kids.
They don't have $1.
Yeah.
So how do you market to a base and then they don't have $1, but they get to tell their parents, I want to go
That's
to
who
Disney
has
World.
the money. That's how.
Okay, but that's an incredible. Think about that. You have to influence a young person because we know parents want to please kids.
Roblox. That's the kids thing right now. They love their Roblox games and stuff, right?
Oh no, that's just an addition. We're not even going to go
but
into
what I'm saying-
PlayStation.
No,
We're not
this
going to
is
go
separate.
into
This
right.
is separate. But what the
Aren't those
Walt
interesting
Disney,
brands?
what
though?
he understood, and anyone that's chasing kids, they know the kids don't have any money, but they also know a parent will do pretty much anything for their child. So that's the key, right? We will do anything we can for our child's happiness and well-being. And he understood that at the highest level when he created Walt Disney. I want to go from Disney, I want to go to adventure music.
Okay.
And the reason I want to go into adventure music, aside from being it's my company and I'm building it, we're all putting this blood, sweat, and tears into building this brand. It's a vision, an idea I had to empower independent artists. But one of the things is I will not compromise the integrity of adventure music. Everyone that works with me knows there's one consistent theme that I always talk about, and that is we will not do anything that will not prosper or help an independent artist. Everything is that we do at Adventure Music is to help an independent artist, and that's how I chose to build my brand. It may take longer because of that fact, because I'm not trying to do.
I mean, we're trying to
little
educate
sideways
and
things.
empower the artists.
Of course, the education empowerment is key because they get to take that with them forever.
Ever.
I can never replace. They can never. I can never get that back from them. Once I give them the knowledge and information, if they choose to leave me, I'm still stuck. But at the end of the day, I know I did the right thing, and an educated consumer is still our best customer.
No,
They're still gonna
definitely.
come back because they'll find out that over there on the other side, there's not the same thing. They're not. It's not the same commitment of helping them. So if you're a real independent artist, there's no one that shouldn't be on Adventure Music, in my opinion, because of what we do for them.
Definitely. I mean, and part of us doing for them is us even creating this podcast
Yes.
to give people
Powered
the
by
business.
Adventure
Yeah,
Music.
give people the business.
What is that?
An extension. No, but at the same time to kind of show them, hey, we're also trying to create something. We're also doing something in the market and trying to get seen and heard and get our voice and our message out there. So it's an example of whether it's a podcast, whether it's an album you're trying to drop or whatever. It's just about the education and empowering aspect. As we always say, look, you can go to this one or the other one or whatever other place. I mean, you're free to go whatever. That's what we're just letting you know what we offer over here is a little bit different,
That's right.
And, at the end of the day, you can have the beauty of distribution. You can have a distribution with us. You can have a distribution with them. You can have a distribution. You still have
right.
to put in work.
No matter where
And
you
that's
go.
what we're going to always let you know. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter who you distribute. There is no easy road
Look,
to
you
this
said
shit.
put in work. So I just left a lunch, a great lunch with one of my friends, big executive, Benny Pugh. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Benny Pugh.
What's up, Benny?
You know what I'm saying? Appreciate the lunch. And we going through lunch, and he out of the blue, he called me to go to lunch, and I was like, what's going on? And all he told me was, man, congratulations, you are really doing it. You never stop working. Not about anything else. He just wanted to let me know he sees the work that I'm putting in, and he's like, he wants to help. He wants to be part of anything we could do together. And I thought that was so great. I thanked him so much because you don't get that from these executives every day, calling you out. This was not me reaching out to him. He's seeing what I'm doing and just wanted to thank me and support me, basically, which is what brands need. They need to find who their friends are and work more with them, relationship-wise. When I say friends, people that's helping you be empowered from a business perspective in the brand you're building and supporting you. Because the other side of this business, when you're building a brand, it can get very lonely. Meaning you're trying, you're pushing, and you don't get the support from people and friends,
Man,
family.
our marketing guy walked in here and he was like, "Oh man, this is dope. You could really sit here and create." I was like, "Yeah, I'll be here
Yeah.
by myself a lot trying to create shit.
That's
Trust me."
it.
And that's what it's all about. And you see the brand on the floor, you see the off-brand. The idea is to eventually have a store that you walk in and nothing is. There's no major brand. They're all off-brand. They're all independent designers. Who I would, whether they have their stores online popping, I could try to give them a deal and buy X amount of inventory and get it in their stores and give them a section. And that's the vision. So we all have different visions, but building a brand is the American dream. If I say Bad Boy, you say Puffy. If I say Death Row, now you say Snoop Dogg, but you would have said
Suge Knight
Suge Knight and Dr.
and
Dre.
Dr. Dre.
And now you have Aftermath. So you look at all these brands and that are out there. Part of the American dream is building your brand.
That's it.
And that's
And
really.
then the work, the challenges that come with the work, the marketing approaches, you know,
I mean, you'll learn as you go, Chris.
even if like a restaurant, a family member, brother, ex brother-in-law has a business, um, did very well success wise. It's called Rockin' Ramen. This is a great example of brand building. He built a brand, but he again, just because you have a great brand, he didn't run it financially the best. So he didn't understand pricing properly. So he has a Rockin' ramen noodles. So he could tell you how much the bag would cost and how many bowls, but he didn't price it out properly. And in as much ramen noodles as he was selling, and people loved it, I mean, it went crazy. Store's still there, everything. He got multiple ones opened up. He franchised, but he had to sell out because it wasn't being profitable because of the price points. So you have to understand every part of your business to build that brand. And that's what a great example of that, where he understood the customer clientele, the need for what he was doing, the locations, but he didn't have the pricing right and lost his brand, someone else taking it. Now he started a new one up that's doing even better than the first one because now he could fix his wrongs. Sometimes this is part of an entrepreneur's life.
They're not losses, they're lessons.
He's now doing Vibe and Slurp. He's on the South South Jersey on the beach over there. I mean, he's killing it. But now he has the right price points. He's about to start franchising this, and good luck, God bless. You know what I'm saying? But again, perfect example of starting brands not fully catching or understanding all the trials and tribulations that comes with growing a business, building that brand and growing it, and then ended up losing it, and then ended up building another one right afterwards, and still moving. And it's funny because me and Irv was actually talking about saying, "Hey, man, this is really great. Let's go. Maybe we'll take some and bring them out to Virginia. We'll go and bring some to Atlanta and really make it expand."
Yeah.
Because now the formula is there, the right
Once you have the formula, you
is
can
there.
franchise it and move it around.
Yeah,
But it takes losses. I mean, again, it's an ongoing process, building a brand. Many have built a brand, have sold off the brand, and started another brand, and it continues to go, and it's someone's dream or idea or vision. But I mean, really, building brands in America is what it's all about.
man.
From polo to I don't care what brand, anything you wear, clothes. You shop at Walmart, that's a brand. You buy your food at ShopRite, that's another brand.
Yeah.
At ShopRite, when you buy Oreo cookies, that's another brand. Chips Ahoy's another brand, and the brands go on and
I'll
on
go
and
even
on.
further. One of the first things me and you talked about when I brought you when we met up, and then I showed you Adventure Music, and I told you I want to do Latino inside of this. First thing you was telling me is how brand loyal
Yes,
Latinos are,
definitely.
with brands, and that's a big deal, from a generational standpoint. When you was like, if mommy and daddy, papi,
Yeah,
they
they buy
they had
Chevy, everyone buys
right, their
Chevy.
whole
Yeah,
family bought
Latinos
Chevy.
are extremely brand loyal with their artists, with clothes, with whatever they do. They really stick to it, And again, I mean, now you have a different level of Latino now today, but it's still the same, extremely, patriotic. Most Latinos that are born here will tell you, even though they're born here, they say, no, I'm Cuban, or I'm Dominican, or I'm Mexican, or I'm Peruvian, or I'm Colombian, whatever. So, yeah, that's a whole different aspect too that we were discussing, cultural brands. We say Ferrari, you automatically think Italy. We mentioned the Modelo beer, it's Mexico.
You have the Cuban liquor right there. What's this?
Oh, okay, yeah, Havana Club, and you think Cuba, you know, and and the list goes on also with Mercedes Benz, you think Germany, and when you do say Chevy or Ford, you think United States. So I think we're at a point where everything around us that affects us. We were discussing Dunkin' Donuts, how Dunkin' Donuts is an actual brand, but their logo is a cup of coffee.
Yeah, because they're selling coffee.
Yeah, but their brand is Dunkin' Donuts. So it's crazy how they're.
But you're Dunkin' Donuts in coffee.
Right. That's how they've had to expand it. He's got the big gulp over there.
They want you to be buying that coffee.
Right.
That's what the key is, to know and understand your audience, your customers. Like you said, that's not your fan, but your customer. And know how
I was when you mention Latinos, I don't mean to cut you off, but there's an interesting brand in the Latino community. The past 10 years, I think, has not spent $1 on marketing, and it just swaps the whole market.
In the Latin community.
In the Latin community, and it's and everyone says it's an anomaly, because how can they do that? They have a grasp because of the loyalty, and the company is Goya. Goya spends no money on marketing. You'll never even see a Goya thing pop up on your Instagram or Facebook.
They used to run the commercials, Goya.
Way back.
That's when I was
way
young.
Way back, they used to run with the kid coming in with it. They used to have billboards everywhere. Remember, you go and by the bodega. 10 years, they've stopped it because the brand sells itself. They don't have to.
But we need to change that.
No, you can't. There is no hey, good luck, God bless.
No. They got to pay tithes.
You go anywhere, and you go to any major supermarket, and they have a Goya section.
Yeah.
Think about
gangsters.
That. You want regular other beans? It's in the regular bean section. Yeah. You go to the Spanish section, and it's Goya, just maybe Goya. But that one of the brand, Goya owns it also.
Yeah, they got that real
But they don't advertise. You cannot find, I'll wait, go look it up, research it, find the last time. That means there's no overhead. It's all profit.
That's a big deal.
That's huge.
Even
fucking Coca-Cola has to advertise.
Okay, so in American culture, there is one company that I know doesn't do, but they probably do a little bit of something.
Who's that?
So, Steve Madden.
True.
Madden stopped marketing. And the only reason I know is because we know Steve very well, and we have a little partnership with him for marketing, but he doesn't want to spend money on marketing.
But see, the Steve thing is different, because Steve, how many times does Steve get someone to buy a pair of shoes? Maybe once a month. Let's say they're a consistent customer, he drops. This is fucking beans, rice. This is every day. So every day,
that's the proof.
It's
to
a
your
crack. It's like a crack.
No, but that's your proof to what you said
the
about
brand
Latinos being brand loyal.
But I'll tell you why. Your first time you learned how to cook, mommy taught you how to cook with Goya beans.
And it tastes so good, you want it.
No,
it's your turn.
Mommy,
you're gonna make it like
that experience. Remember, the experience. See, there's a still machismo aspect to the Latino game. So you're not. If your dad finds you in the kitchen, you're a pussy. What the fuck are you doing in the kitchen? Get out the kitchen. Like, I'm just saying. I don't. I'm just kidding you, right? So the mom teaching.
But most chefs are men.
No, but listen.
You're telling me no Latin chefs?
No, a ton of them, incredible. But listen. What I'm trying to tell you is that you can imagine. So the experience of mommy teaching you how to cook rice, the most of the rice that everyone buys is the Goya Canelo rice. Like, there's certain things that and then that experience you learn. Now your first meal at maybe 17, you cook your first boyfriend was a can. So it's so intertwined into the culture in your blood. You buy any beans, you don't even feel. The only thing you graduate is from cans, when you really know how to cook, to the bag of the Goya beans, because you got to sit them in the pot of water first.
Soak them a little.
Right, so that's a different, that's grandma now. That's a different level. You can't take grandma pair of canned beans. But if you do learn on the can, you will always, because you need that taste, you need that consistency in your recipe, in your food, and now you fed your man, now your man fell in love, you're married. all he knows is Goya beans.
Not at
right?
17.
Right? And he laughs because that's probably he got introduced. You know, he done squeaky a couple Spanish girls. So what I'm saying is that it's a different cultural thing here. He has. Hey, it's a different cultural thing, and you start to realize that, yo, it becomes who you are.
Yeah.
And then this company, no marketing. Right? So that's where Latinos are a little bit different.
Hey, I didn't go in the kitchen, but I know how to cook.
True, but think about the condiments that you use. The ketchup, Heinz got us by the balls. Everybody got about. If it ain't Heinz, it ain't shit. Hunts might come in a little bit, but that shit is watered down. They're watered down, Papa. Right? I mean, we think of the ketchup. And what did they do to make sure they locked us in? They did a deal with McDonald's and that, so even the little package.
Oh, man.
You know what I'm saying? So I just want to say that when you understand these brands, these European brands, the reason Balenciaga is because of hip-hop. Is because of certain basketball players that dress to a T.
That's a fact.
It's the culture that we have, you know? So these brands, so when it affects, when I see my nephew, who's a big football player, wants a pair of Balenciagas, I'm saying, damn, they got us.
Got him.
Nope, you can't have. Go to the Nike outlet store and see if you can find some in that size 14, 27D wide.
Oh my God.
You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, it's if you've been in that business, you start to realize that everything is overpriced. It doesn't cost. They're pricing the brand and they're taxing.
Popularity.
Yeah, so you're
paying for the popularity of those brands.
Let's talk about these gas brands. Right, that all of a sudden when that situation happens in Ukraine, which is a war, I mean, you know, that the same gas that was in that tank on Tuesday went up $3 the next day, but it was still down. It's the same tank.
Didn't move.
So what happened? I tell you what inflation is. Inflation is them taxing, realizing, oh shit, I got an opportunity to raise the price. So if they raise the price, think about this. If they keep us at $4.50 for 90 days and they bring it down to $3.25, they thought they had us a favor, but they're sitting back saying, they were complaining at $2.25. We got them now.
Right.
They get you used to something, they bring you down. That's how they did when they brought it up to $2 and something.
Yeah, and they never stopped.
No, they kept it there. Yeah. So inflation is really these big, huge corporations, these brands, these huge brands, because everything's gotten more expensive. The Red Bull's more expensive. The Dunkin' Donuts is more expensive. The gas, everything's more expensive because now this is their moment to tax. That's why my T-shirts
Taxation without representation.
Hey, that's why my T-shirts are up. That's why a lot of the shit, I got to bring the prices up too.
Because the gas to bring those T-shirts here costs more money, which costs you more money.
No, because I'm mimicking what they're doing. Everything's up, homie.
Oh, man.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, yesterday's price.
Price is not today's price.
Sweetie.
Let that sink in.
So yeah, get your brand up, you know, and
you gotta find your audience, find who wants your brand, build it to them, market it to them, and proceed to have a vision of your integrity, whether it's quality of the way you make it. Because there's brands that are very poorly made, but it's still a brand. It's just a cheaper brand. But
you know something we didn't discuss?
You know when you buy it, it's going to be poorer quality.
We need to discuss budgets, what it's going to cost to develop this idea. Because, you know, and one idea we say all the time, one idea can change your life.
Oh, yeah.
The beautiful thing that ideas are free, but to create it and take action ain't free about it.
That's the cost.
So you have to figure out
your time.
Who can you team up with? Who, you know, you might have the idea and not have the money. Your boy has the money, and you can say, hey, come in on this idea. Like, you have to figure out what it would take to manifest that brand, what it would cost to get it out there. Today, with all this Shopify and all this other drop shipping, there's a lot of ways if you're doing clothing, but whether it's music, whether it's a sneaker, whatever you want to do, I think it's a dope journey.
Yes.
Go create your brand. You're not going to fail. You might learn some lessons. You'll lose some money along the way. You might go from this to that, but I think that if you decide to build a brand, it'll be a dope journey to go on.
Just know that you have to love what you're doing and love what the brand you're creating, because this is not easy.
No.
It's hard work, and if you don't love it, you will end up quitting, and your brand won't mean nothing anyway. So, on that note,
CubanConnection717.com.
Yeah, Adventure Music. know what I'm saying?
Bruce,
Giving
you
them
haven't
the
ordered a
business.
hoodie yet, Bruce.
Make sure these are brands. Support the brands that you like and support them, help them get to where they're going. That's what we do here. That's what we wanted to pass on.
Yeah.
And I want to just thank everyone for tuning in. Go share.
And for independent artists that are trying to go to Adventure Music, become a member and start building your brand with us.
That's right.
Feel me? When it comes to your music, that's what we're all about. And if you're Latino, come through also. We're building that platform as we go along. And I think that's the important thing is that get started.
Get started, number one. But go build your brand. Start now and support other brands because they need your support. So share, like, subscribe to Giving Them the Business. And we out of here. This is Chris Gotti, Lorenzo.
This Don Dinero, one brand that I'd like to figure out, can someone find for me? I don't know what happened to them. Phillies.
Philly Blunts.
Peace.
Squiggy.